Wicker Man is directed by Robin Hardy, and it's the original Wicker Man from 1973, not the Nicolas Cage.
No Nick Cage here. No.
Right, so we're kicking off our Spooktober series of all basically Halloween movies you want to watch around this time of year.
Yeah.
So this week we thought we would do a movie that Dennis has seen and I have not seen. So I've never seen the original Wicker Man, but you have.
When Nate told me about all these, great horror movies that, he has heard is great, but he hasn't seen, I saw The Wicker Man, I'm like, yes, let's watch that. So, Nate, what did you think of Robin Hardy's direction and the atmosphere that he created?
That's one thing that I really, really enjoyed about The Wicker Man. I went into this movie pretty blind. I don't know anything about it, and really people don't talk about this movie all that much. At least to me, they don't. So
it's an older movie, 1973.
It's pretty old, but it's not up there with Rosemary's Baby or anything like that, So, but I really love the vibe of this movie. There is definitely a tone of this movie's just odd. This is just a weird movie, way weirder, way more art housey than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is a very unsettling kind of movie. It's the story of this detective who is played by Edward Woodward. He goes to this isolated Scottish island and to solve the case of this missing girl. And when he gets there, he just notices these weird rituals and kind of customs amongst the populace there. And, he's trying to figure out what's going on with this girl. And it's just crazy. Some people don't acknowledge the girl ever existed, and some people have their definition of is the girl really here? And it's just kind of this weird, I think that's the best thing about this movie is the atmosphere. I totally agree with you on that. And it's just kind of this weird culture shock to him, to go to this island and this bizarre behavior is their normalcy.
I think the building of how bizarre this town was great. There was some incredibly weird music choices, especially the music choice right off the bat. The first song you hear, it's very pleasant. It gives you a vibe that you're getting into either a drama or maybe a romance movie. The music choices were weird to me.
Yeah, and that was something I won't lie. I mean, when we watched this, we watched this one together, and I took a lot of pleasure just seeing Nate's look of confusion. This movie's a musical.
It really is.
There's sing-alongs on this island, and it's just, and just all plays into the weird, bizarre behavior that the residents of this island, go through day to day. Yeah. And I think it just adds to the weirdness element. You don't expect a musical element in a kind of culty horror movie.
I really like the vibe of this movie because I really like the way just horror movies back in the 70s were shot. I like these slow zooms that the camera's really kind of jolty and shaky because it always feels like you're an onlooker. It feels like you're behind the trees looking in on this town kind of. So I really like that vibe of direction with this movie. But a lot of things caught me off guard, big time. And a lot of themes caught me off guard as well.
They kind of have their own religion.
Yeah.
And the lead character, the detective, played by Edward Woodward, he is a Christian, a very devout Christian. He is engaged and he's a virgin. He doesn't believe in sex before marriage. So he has these very traditional Christian values. So for him to go and see that's kind of their way of normalcy. But, on the same hand, Christianity's his way of normalcy. Right. He's grown up and accustomed to, where the people on this island, that's what they're grown up and accustomed to. So you can't really blame them for following this. It's all they know.
That's exactly what I asked him at the end. I was like, is it weird that I kind of saw the town's perspective? Or I'm just who's to say what religion is more bizarre than the other? It's exactly what you're raised, what you're taught, and what you're used to. And so for him to see all these, but I would say that if they went and saw the acts of Christianity, they would think that's super bizarre. I mean, obviously the acts and the things, the rituals that these people do are not okay.
Oh no, they're extreme.
I'm not. Yeah.
There's just so much blatant nudity in this movie.
So much nudity. Whoa. There's, and I think I don't think it's it is jarring, it is shocking when you see this, especially for when it's made. But there are scenes, especially nudity scenes, that just go on a little too long. I think just some things get dragged out just a little too long.
Right, and I think that's
one scene in particular.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. I already know what one you're talking about. And there's nudity during music numbers. There's just random nudity in this movie. And I think that plays into what you said about the unsettling atmosphere. Let's just get into the performances. Christopher Lee, Edward Woodward, overall, what'd you think?
I mean, overall, these performances are fantastic. I really did think that each actor brought the level of intensity at a perfect notch. You could have went ridiculous with this, or you could have sort of undersold it, but I really think they found a really nice balance of believability almost with this movie.
And I gotta say, Christopher Lee, he's one of those, I don't know, if there are any horror movies with a villain so like charismatic and kind of sympathetic. Like you see why people follow him, why he is the leader, why he's able to get all these people on this belief system.
He even frustrates the main character in a certain conversation where he's like, and he's coming back at him with such perfect answers for like, how could you do this? Or haven't you ever heard of Christ and, you know, Jesus and our Lord and blah. And he just has the perfect response to sort of throw him off his guard and really not have a response back. That's why you almost sympathize with him a little bit.
I think it has a very strong message about, you know, just getting to know and kind of adjust yourself when you're experiencing other culture.
Yeah, and acceptance, borderline, at least to like cultures that are doing acceptable things. You know?
Right.
Really
Once again, this is playing into the bizarre. It's going extreme to tell this message.
It is.
But it is effectively conveying the message.
Right. And I mean, one thing, it's Halloween time, you want to watch scary movies. This isn't the scariest movie, but it is unsettling. It is jarring at certain points. And like, I wouldn't find this to be a movie that you sit around with all your friends and be like, hey, I'm having 9 friends over with popcorn. You want to watch Wicker Man? So you all could feel weird with these nudity scenes together.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. This isn't the scariest movie, but it is a creepy movie. And I think creepy can be just as effective as scary.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Nate, so we've given our thoughts on Wicker Man. We both seem to enjoy it. Why don't you go ahead, give me your score on our standard 1 to 10 scale, but then just tell me how scary you thought the movie was on a 1 to 5 scale.
Okay. I did enjoy my time with Wicker Man. It's an hour and a half long. It's a pretty quick watch. It's not at all what I expected, but I'm glad I watched it. This is something that I think the film lovers will really enjoy. I think they did something very different and unique here. But there are parts that drug on a little bit, and it wasn't quite as scary as I wanted it to be. But it still is worth a watch, totally. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Unless I'm showing it to somebody else, I don't think I'll watch it again. But it was a good watch. So I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10 on how much I liked it. So I did enjoy it. But on a scary scale, I'm going to go way lower. I'm going to go about a 1.5 out of 5. Because it is creepy. It is. And I think it sticks with you a little bit. But at no point did I really feel like, you know, trouble sleeping at night or when the lights are out and feeling spooky by anything, you know. No threat, really.
Right. I agree with you there. Me, personally, I really enjoy this movie. I think that it's good throwback kind of movie. The one fault I kind of have against it, but it's not really the movie's fault because it's just inspirational. So for movie lovers who haven't visited this movie before, when you watch it, you're probably going to pick up on some things that you've seen before, but you can't blame it because this movie was copied and kind of ripped off.
Yeah, a lot of influences. Yeah.
But also great performances, and I agree, the pacing is a little laggy in parts, but overall, I think the creepiness is effective, and it really gives you this great fish out of water tale, and not to get into spoilers, but the ending's very unconventional for a horror movie.
It is.
And I think that really adds to the quality of it.
Yeah.
On our quality scale, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah. And scariness, I'll just go a little bit higher and give it a 2 out of 5. It's not a very scary movie, but I think it's effectively creepy, and there's some good unsettling imagery.
Alright, so that's our review of The Wicker Man, the original 1973 version. What did you guys think of the movie? Have you seen it? Are you planning on seeing it? What do you think of the Nicolas Cage version, I guess? Leave all your comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Of course, we always appreciate the support.
And be sure to join us next week. Next time around, I'm going to be watching a movie that Nate recommended to me. I have never seen The Descent. I've heard great things about it, heard it's scary as hell, so we'll find out next Tuesday when we bring you that review. But until then, don't forget,
there's no place like the theater.